Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 157 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 7-3 to the Tampa Bay Rays, and we're going to have a discussion, and it ain't going to be a fun one. But before we get to that very unfun discussion, we'll talk about a couple of things that happened tonight that were positive. One, in New York, the Yankees lost, which means the Astros are your American League 1 seed, which, going into the season where the Astros lost an important player in Carlos Correa and just general depth in certain places, you might not feel great going into it. I know they were the reigning American League champions, but a lot of people had us pegged as missing the playoffs even. So some people had us as that. I honestly thought the Mariners might win the division. I was quite nervous about the Mariners. I never bought into the Angel hype, but the Mariners scared me. And the fact that we not only won the division, handily won the division, but the fact that we were the American League 1 seed, that we had another over 100 win season, really it's a testament to two people, and that is obviously Jeff Luhnow, who built this team and has a lot of his fingerprint still on it even today, years after his unceremonious firing, and also James Click, who in some cases went out and got some little talent here and there to plug holes, but also in the moves that he didn't make, letting players ride, leaving Chas McCormick in center and rolling with him as a center fielder, which has worked out wonderfully. Rolling with Jeremy Pena and not overpaying for a free agent shortstop because he knew what he had. A great job by Luhnow to build this team up, and a great job by James Click to continue rolling with this team. God, I hope we re-sign him in the offseason. And as for the Astros, we are where we are now. We are not moving up or down in the American League. I don't believe you're moving up or down in the National League, which means the last 5 games are even more irrelevant than the last few. If we just had the AAA team come in for the last 4 innings of each of the last 5 games, I'd be fine. I mean, at this point, all I really care about is just individual players award chasing or stat chasing. Verlander finishing with a sub-2 and a sub-8.5 whip. Altuve maybe getting to 30 home runs. He'd have to go on a tear. Maybe batting 300. Maybe having the best season of his career by WRC plus standards. Seeing if Bregman could hit 25 home runs. Tucker, it'd be very, very, very difficult, but still with the hope of a 30-30, at the very least you could hit 30 home runs. Things like that. That'd be interesting to see all those things happen. But I'd rather just stay healthy. So play the last 5 games out and give it that good old-fashioned, 75% effort. So if you want positives for the evening, Yordan Alvarez was great. Pair of doubles tonight. Good night for Yordan Alvarez. Bregman had a home run. That was great to see. Breggy just... I can't get over the fact that as soon as his personal life stopped being stressful, he got better. And I would like to also point out that to even pile more on that, because I've touched on Bregman and the theory that I've had of the pregnancy causing a lot of stress for him and that bogging down his play a bit. At the start of the season, when all the news that they were reporting on their social medias was positive, he was on a tear to start the season. When things started to get complicated, he dipped pretty hard, and after his boy was born, completely healthy, and his wife was healthy after the delivery, he shot up like he has never shot up before, and it just... Shout out to Bregman for going through an absolute nightmare this season and coming through on the other side and rebounding with amazing play to cap the season off. Speaking of capping off, well, Yuli had a pair of hits. Granted, we're grading on the bell curve because the first while for Yuli this season was just painfully bad to watch, but he's been getting better slightly, and if he could just be a 110 or a 100 WRC plus hitter throughout the postseason, that's great, because that'd be even more depth. Pitching staff, we're going to start with the bullpen because the discussion comes with Fromber. Stenek looked good, pitched 2/3, got a strikeout, no hard contact, not too shabby there. Phil Maton made 1 mistake in 2 innings of work, got 4 strikeouts to no walks, did give up the home run, which is not ideal, but 4 strikeouts, 1 base runner his pair of innings, 6 swings and misses and 2 innings of work. Fantastic from Phil Maton. Hector Neris was sketchy, but got out of it scoreless. He'd give up a pair of walks, but would get a strikeout, and no hard contact, so he got out of the inning scoreless, so that's a positive, and now we talk about the not positive. Framber Valdez. Yeah, that's not good. 5 1/3, 6 runs, all of which were earned, 3 walks, only 2 strikeouts. and 12 hard hit balls. That's the big one. That's the big one for me. This was not just a bad game. The last game that Fromber had was bad. This was awful. And a lot of people are probably going to just let it ride with the fact that he had 25 consecutive quality starts, which, again, flawed statistic, but that's not the point. He was solid for 25 consecutive games. He's having a little bit of a bump in the road. And I get that. But you're facing Tampa, who very, very well could be your matchup in the ALDS in a couple weeks. And if it comes time for Game 2, and you have the opportunity to take a foothold at, say, 2-0, or switch that, and you are down a game already, and in Game 2 you could go completely behind the 8 ball and have to win 3 in a row, 2 of which on the road in Tampa, I don't know that Fromber's my starter in Game 2. I really don't. He's had a bad game and a really bad game to cap off the season. And this one against Tampa, and let me check, wasn't the last one also against Tampa? My bad, it was Baltimore, but that was, again, 5 1/3, 7 runs, only 4 of them were earned runs, but still, that's a big number. And I don't think he's my starter for Game 2 at this moment in time. If he gets a start in game like 162, if he somehow gets one more game this season and pitches a gem, like 7 one-run innings with a great K to walk and doesn't give up much hard contact, then sure, that would persuade me. But if it's mediocre, if it's 6 3-run innings or 6 2-run innings or something to that equivalent, he isn't my starter in Game 2. And before anyone gets mad at me and says, "You're such a Lance homer, Weston," it'd be Javi. Guys, I've been preaching it for like nearly 2 years now. Javi's elite. He is an elite starting pitcher. And right this second, I'm going to be honest, even if Fromber had a great game in Game 162, if that were even to happen, I still would roll with Javi in Game 2. I got to be completely honest. I am totally all in with Christian Javier, and he's my Game 2 starter at this moment in time. And that's not a knock against Fromber Valdez, because if you put him at the 3rd or 4th spot, that's still a very, very good pitcher that you're going to have in a Game 3 or 4 situation. But man, oh man, he's dipped a little bit recently. Javi has only gotten better as the season's progressed. And my goodness gracious, it needs to be recognized, and I think he's ready for a big spot like that. So in my humble opinion, when Game 2 of the ALDS rolls along, I would put out the coffee, man. Sorry to keep stirring the pot. I know I did it earlier with the poll, and I'm probably doing it more so with this, but I had to get it. It had to be said, in my opinion. So the Astros heading to the game tomorrow night. Again, getting reps. That's all it is at this point. We are going to send Christian Javier to the mound, and the Rays send Shane McClanahan to the mound, which potential matchup in the postseason, those two pitchers against each other. And that game's at 7:20 Eastern, 6:20 Central. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. But that's all I have to say for the evening. So thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.